Welcome to 30k channel with your hosts David and Connor.
Got a really exciting 1500 point ZM game for you today between the Sons of Horus and the Iron Hands.
Yep, Or Take More is back at it again in Zone Mortalis, his favourite home, and it's a bit dilapidated, isn't it?
Yeah, we're trying to dig them out, but it's not going well. We're ready for the final push.
We need some Deathcore Krieg in there. We need to get our trench shovels at the handy. Yeah, the Zone Mortalis is a little bit dilapidated. There's a lot of stuff falling down from the roof.
Yeah, going a lot more for ruin than bunker at this point.
Exactly right. So there's obviously something really big raging atop above the bunker, and deep down in the foundations, you've got collapsed ceilings and all the debris and detritus all over the Zone Mortalis floor. So to represent that, we're using the Buried Alive special rule.
Yeah, so that'll hopefully cause a bit more damage, more than you normally get to see even ZM, but
yeah,
with rolling for it.
Yeah,
it will be interesting to see.
I was going to say, you roll for it at the beginning of each turn, each complete turn for each player.
Yeah.
And the chart goes from some mild dusk obscuring sights through to full collapse.
Yeah, full collapse, strength test for every model on the table, or instant death. So
yeah, it's pretty rough.
If it goes big, yeah,
we're going home.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, if we look at the forces, it's the classic Iron Hands force, I'm afraid. Or Take More, a Contemptor, and a couple of Immortals. However, there's Sons of Horus a little bit more flexible, aren't you?
Yeah, so it's much more of a spearhead, what the Sons of Horus quite like to do, with a squad of Juster and Terminators and their Cataphractii armor to really punch through those lines. Ooh. They are, however, joined by 2 Reaver squads, so jump packs being pretty risky business in a ZM game, but they do get around the board quickly and will be able to chase objectives. Yeah,
they do absolutely make sense, because a lot of the time, units are just struggling to get onto the board, and they're, getting up a corridor and rounding a corner, but with at least a jump pack, you can get pretty much anywhere you like.
Yeah, so obviously putting themselves in harm's way, but when you're chasing down Or Take More, you gotta risk it a little bit.
You gotta give it a try, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
If you have a look at the mission, we're playing Sabotage with the Assault deployment. And essentially there are 4 objectives scattered around the board, which the Sons of Horus have got to destroy and the Iron Hands have to defend.
Yep, and pretty straightforward. They're worth 1 victory point to the attackers for destroying, or any that are held at the end of the game are worth 1 point to the Iron Hands.
Absolutely. As secondaries, there is Slay the Warlord and First Blood. So potentially 6 points up for grabs in total from each side.
Yeah, but I think it'll be a pretty close game. It's certainly going to be hard to try and get to defend all those objectives, or certainly take all of them from you.
Yeah, I mean, getting through those 2-wind Cataphractii Terminators is sometimes quite tricky as well. And we've both got a reasonable kind of Praetor HQ each as well, so...
Yeah, so Or Take More, obviously quite a scary character, however, slightly slower than most Praetors, so there is a chance for him to go down in combat, should he get there, especially his Chain Fist, his Power Axes on those Juster, and they should be doing a pretty good job of mincing Terminators. Yeah,
there's a lot of opportunity for some instant death in this game as well, which would be quite cool.
Rolling for the deployment and the assault mission, the Sons of Horus managed to secure one of the table quarters a little bit closer to the Iron Hands deployment zone. So being able to put those Juster in within first turn charge range, all going well, puts a lot of pressure on those Immortals. It's quite scary being that close to a unit like that right before the game even begins. So I think it'll probably be quite cagey the start of the game.
Zone Mortalis always starts off really cagey. First couple of turns, it's really tricky. You don't want to give the other opponent an advantage, but we'll see how it goes. The Iron Hands won the roll-off to deploy first, go first, and chose to go first as well. So let's have a look at those armies, and then we'll go straight into Iron Hands turn 1.
Leading the Sons of Horus is a Praetor equipped with Cataphractii Terminator armor, a mastercrafted Paragon blade, a combi melter gun, digital lasers, and a grenade harness. First Elite's choice, a 7-man Juster and Terminator squad, equipped with 3 combi bolters, 3 combi grenade launchers, and a multi-melter, 2 Chain Fists, 2 Lightning Claws, and 3 Power Axes. Second Elite's choice, a Contemptor Dreadnought, equipped with a Carrier's Pattern Assault Cannon, and a Plasma Blaster in its close combat arm. The first Fast Attack choice is a 10-man Reaver Attack Squad, equipped with 6 Chain Axes, 2 Power Axes, and 2 Power Fists. There is also a Apothecary in the squad, equipped with a power sword. The second fast attack choice, a 5-man Reaver attack squad equipped with Volkite charges, are also joined by another apothecary with a jump pack and power sword.
Leading the army is Ortec Moore. He's equipped with Cataphractii Terminator armor, has a Paragon blade, a Volkite charger, and a servo arm. There are 3 units of 14 Iron Hands Immortals, all equipped with Volkite chargers. There are 2 melter guns in the squad. The sergeant has Artificer armor and a breaching charge. Finally, there is a Contemptor Dreadnought equipped with a Carey's Pattern assault cannon, a melter gun in the chain fist, and extra armor. Iron Hands turn 1 movement. With the Justerin deploying so close to the Iron Hands Immortals, the Immortals and Ortec Moore have moved back ever so slightly just to put a little bit more space between them and the Terminators. The Contemptor has moved forward through that door to put up a defense for the objective. The Iron Hands know that they can't do anything about protecting these 2 objectives that are close to the Sons of Horus, so they will make their stand and defend the 2 that are in their deployment zone. Iron Hands turn 1 shooting phase. With no targets in sight, the Iron Hands Contemptor has ran forward 6 inches towards the door and will look at engaging the Sons of Horus Contemptor in subsequent turns. End of turn 1 for the Iron Hands. Very little to do. Zone Mortalis usually starts off quite cagey and then ramps up really quickly in the 2nd and 3rd turns. The Iron Hands are attempting to defend the objectives that they have.
Sons of Horus turn 1 movement phase. Unwilling to commit to the corridor lined and secured by the Medusan Immortals, the Sons of Horus, Juster and Terminators and Contemptor Dreadnought push into the middle of the table, hoping to isolate the lone Contemptor. Sons of Horus turn 1 shooting phase. Looking to secure some early victory points, the Juster and Terminator line up their crack grenades from their grenade launchers and a multi-melter on the central objective. The 3 crack grenades from the grenade launchers hitting on 3s, 2 hits, and looking for 5s to glance. Ooh, no glances there. There is, however, 1 multi-melter in the squad, also hitting on 3s. Ooh, just enough to do it. Within melter range, looking to penetrate armor 11 on the objective. That will do it. It does, however, have a 4-up invul save.
Yep, here we go. Oh, look at that.
And it's made. Correction on that, with Death Dealer, the Justerin were hitting on 2s, however the miss being a 1 didn't affect the shooting. Sons of Horus turn 1 assault phase. The Juster and Terminators completing a charge against the central objective to get those chain fists into combat. With Furious Charge and chain fists, the armor 11 objective stood absolutely no chance. Moving on to the end of the turn, hopefully lining up combat with the enemy Contemptor Dreadnought in the following turns. Rolling on the catastrophic damage table, a lookout result was achieved. The Sons of Horus won the roll-off, placing a Strength 5 AP4 large blast template over the Medusan Immortal squad. However, due to scatter, not 1 Immortal was hit, clipping the objective they protected, however. Unfortunately, not rolling high enough to penetrate or glance the objective.
Continuing on with the movement phase, after narrowly escaping that cave-in, the Medusan Immortals rolled really, really well for their reserves rolls, and both units of Immortals have come in. This unit barely squeezing onto the board, but just making it by a couple of millimeters, and then this other unit have come into this main room with Ortec Moore. So they need to gain some ground to get their guns to bear on the Sons of Horus. Iron Hands turn 2, movement and end of turn. Not a lot happened. Ortec Moore moved round to the other squad, and he will join them later on in the game. This squad passed the leadership test to run, but only rolled a 1, so couldn't move thanks to their void hardened armor. This unit that just newly arrived failed their leadership test, so were unable to run. And then the Mexican standoff between the 2 Contemptors increased in tension, with the Iron Hands edging back 3 inches just so not to allow the Sons of Horus to charge or to use the Contemptor as a leapfrog onto the objective. But not a lot happened, but very cagey at this stage.
Sons of Horus, turn 2 movement phase. Some very successful reserve rolls with both of the Sons of Horus Reaver squads entering the field this turn. Into the middle of the table, the Juster and Terminators pushing forward, trying to go after the Contemptor Dreadnought, while the Sons of Horus Contemptor opens up that corridor, eyeing up some shots on the distant Medusan Immortals. Sons of Horus, turn 2 shooting phase. Beginning with the Reaver squad armed with Volkite charges, unable to draw a line onto any targets, they have run forward 2 inches. The Sons of Horus Dreadnought, drawing a line on the Medusan Immortal squad, fires his Plasma Blaster, hitting on 2s. That is 2 hits. Now, despite the inviolate armor of the Medusan Immortals, still wounding on 2s. And that is 2 AP2 wounds.
Lovely. 6 up, feel no pain from those boarding shields. Both failed, but there is a feel no pain 5+. Oh no, 2 fails, and that kills 2 Immortals.
Next to fire from the Contemptor is the Carrier's Assault Cannon, with 6 shots hitting on 2s. Or 1 miss in there. At strength 5 against AP4, only wounding on 3s this time. And only 1 miss. There is, however, 1 rend in there, so 3 wounds and 1 rend.
The rend will force an invulnerable save, which has failed, and a feel no pain 5+, which has also failed, killing the lead Immortal. Next in line to die is a tough choice between the Sergeant, the Meltagun, or the Volkite wielding Immortal. Starting with the Immortal, requiring a 3-up armor save. Passed. Fail, so now it's forced onto a 5-up feel no pain. That has failed, he is dead, and then we'll move on to the Meltagun, and that has passed. Unfortunately, Immortals have suffered more than 25% casualties and require a leadership test of 9 or under. Ooh, thankfully that's a 5 and they have passed.
End of turn 2 for the Sons of Horus, with a successful set of reserve rolls seeing both of our reserve squads entering the field, the Juster and Terminators locking down the centre of the board, and the Contemptor with an exemplary round of shooting into the Medusan Immortals. The Sons of Horus are poised for turn 3.
Iron Hand's turn 3 movement. The roll on the Buried Alive table was stable, so no collapsing to resolve. Autet Moore joined this advancing unit of mortals towards the Contemptor. Unfortunately, only 1 Meltagun is in range of that Contemptor Dreadnought. This unit that Autet Moore was in moved up to support this unit, just in case the Contemptor charges and makes a mess of that unit. Finally, this unit have broken out from the door, and the Contemptor has moved into a position where it can fire upon the door, and then maybe in subsequent turns get a firing solution onto the Justeran. Iron Hand's turn 3 shooting phase, starting with the single Meltagun in range of the Contemptor, fires down the corridor and requires a 3 to hit. That is a really good start. Unfortunately, it's out of melter range, and so requires a 5 to glance and a 6 to pen. The Iron Hand's Contemptor will attempt to take down the door in front of it, requiring a 2 to hit with its Meltagun in the fist. It's not in melter range, so requires a 5 to glance or a 6 to pen. No, that is nothing. Moving on to the Carey's Pattern Assault Cannon, requiring 2s. This door is proving quite troublesome. Strength 6, front armor 13, need a rend, so 6 will auto-destroy it, and that is nothing. Finally, after passing their leadership test, the unit of mortals here ran forward 2 inches. End of turn 3 for the Iron Hands. Not a lot going on here. Unfortunate about the Contemptor, but it was a bit of a long shot. However, the forces are in a reasonable position to put some firepower down on the Sons of Horus in the Iron Hands next turn.
Sons of Horus turn 3 movement phase. The Juster and Terminators and Contemptor Dreadnought shuffling around in the doorway, looking to draw some line of sight onto the Medusan Immortal squad, hopefully seeing those Meltaguns gone before they can cause any damage to the Contemptor. The Reaver Volkite squad leaping forward, unfortunately losing 1 Reaver to the roof, and the final squad remaining in position to charge that objective in the assault phase. Sons of Horus turn 3 shooting phase. The opening volley coming from the Juster and Terminators, firing bolt guns, crack grenades, and a multi-melter into the Medusan Immortal squad. First, firing 2 combi bolters, hitting on 3s. Both hit. Due to the inviolate armor, they will be wounding on 5. No wounds from the bolt guns. Next is a multi-melter, also hitting on 3s. That hits. Wounding on 2s. That's just enough to do it, causing 1 wound at AP2.
The Sergeant will attempt to tank these shots as the squad would like to preserve the Meltaguns. Invulnerable save on a 6-up for shooting, no, and then a feel no pain is required of 5+, and that is passed, lovely.
The Praetor will only be firing the bolt component of his combi bolter, hitting on 2s, and wounding on 5s. Unfortunately doesn't wound. The last 3 Justerans firing crack grenades from their combi grenade launchers, hitting on 2s thanks to Death Dealer. 1 miss. Strength 6 from the crack grenades, however against inviolate armor, wounding on 3s. And that is 2 wounds.
Again, the sergeant will try to tank these on his artificer armor. Go on, lovely job.
Needing to reduce that squad, the Contemptor levels its firearms against them, firing its plasma blaster first, hitting on 2s. Oh, that's good stuff. Also wounding on 2s. There's always a 1. However, that is 1 AP2 wound.
Again, the sergeant will try to take it on his shield on a 6+. Oh, look at that.
Desperately trying to cause at least any damage, the Contemptor also fires its Carrier's Assault Cannon, hitting on 2s. Oh, 1 miss. Wounding on 3s with rending, and that is 2 wounds caused and 2 additional rends.
The 2 rends will go into the sergeant with his boarding shield on 6s. Both failed. Feel no pain. Got to do these individually now, unfortunately. First one has passed. Come on. And the second one is passed on the double 6. What a hero. There are also 2 regular wounds left. Again on the sergeant's artificer armor 2+. Can he be this lucky? Yes, he can.
The Volkite armed Reavers, still with no targets in sight, run forward 6 inches. Sons of Horus turn 3 assault phase. The combat Reaver squad successfully charging the objective with a sheer weight of numbers, buzzing through the armor of that objective, securing 1 more point for the Sons of Horus. Needing to cause some damage on those Medusan Immortals, the Juster and Terminators and the Sons of Horus Praetor have declared a charge against the wounded squad.
Resolving the Overwatch, the Immortals need to take a reactionary fire test using a highest initiative squad, which will take more, so a 5 or under, and they will fire at full ballistic skill, which thankfully they do. Starting off with the 2 melter guns, they require 3s to hit. The squad does have preferred enemy infantry, but the 2 doesn't count. That was a 6 rolled and a 2 to wound one of the Justerans, and that is a Strength 8 AP1 attack.
Straight onto the invulnerable save for the lead Justeran, and that is passed.
Great stuff. Autek Maul will strike out with his Volkite Charger, requiring 2s to hit. Get to reroll 1s thanks to preferred enemy infantry. Lovely, and 3s to wound with that Volkite, and that is 1 wound.
1 wound onto the Terminator armor save for the lead Justeran. 2+ is all it needed.
The remainder of the squad will fire with their 14 Volkite shots, rerolling 1s, which there is none, but that is only 1 miss from the whole squad, which is great. They are Strength 5, Toughness 4, required 3s. Rerolling 1s for preferred enemy. No, failed, but only dropping 2. 11 wounds dealt to the Justeran.
11 armor saves to make for the Terminators, more than we wanted to see. And unluckily for them, that is only 1 wound taken.
Only 1 sneaking through, but that does mean deflagrate, and that wounds on a 3, and that is a wound.
However, still getting to make the 2+ armor save. Oh, and the lead Terminator survives. Needing 9 inches for the Juster and Terminators to make it into combat. And that is excellent news for the Juster and Terminators. As combat began, Autek Maul issued a challenge to the Juster and Terminator squad, which was accepted by a Juster and equipped with a Chain Fist. Striking first at initiative 5 is the Sons of Horus Praetor, lashing out into the Medusan Immortals. 5 attacks, hitting on 3s. There's 1 miss, but a mastercrafted weapon with a reroll. Excellent, giving us 1 extra hit. And with a Paragon Blade, wounding on 3s. Ooh, a 6 is instant death. However, there are 2 failed wounds and 2 normal wounds caused.
Attempting to turn the murderous strike away with his boarding shield, an Immortal needs a 5, which he does successfully. Then 2 AP2 saves with a boarding shield, 5+, then a 5-up Feel No Pain, which is passed.
A correction there, remembering the Praetor's Warlord trait Child of Terror, there was one wound to reroll, and that causes a wound.
All right, again onto the shield save 5+, no, and the Feel No Pain, no, and that does kill 1 breacher.
Down to initiative step 4, there is only a single Juster and Terminator equipped with a Lightning Claw in range of the combat. With 2 attacks, he'll be hitting on 3s. That is 2 hits, excellent. With Furious Charge, looking for 3s to wound with a reroll thanks to Shred. Oh, making good use of that there. Oh, still losing 1, however, there is 1 wound caused.
The Sergeant is next in line and will use his Artificer Armor to turn the attack away, which it doesn't, but he does have Feel No Pain 5+. Oh, it did flash, but the Sergeant is dead. Before the Sergeant dies, he strikes initiative 4 with his Breaching Charge, and requires a 4 to hit. It fails, but re-rolling thanks to preferred enemy or hatred, depends whichever one you want. And that does hit on a 6, and that will clip 3 Justeran, wounding them on 2s. It is a template weapon, so gains shred. Ooh, and that is 3, strength 8, AP2 wounds on the Justeran.
Unfortunately, penetrating the Terminator armor, however, it is caught on the 4+ invul save for the Cataphractes. Oh, and that is all of them made.
Autic Moore strikes at initiative 4 with 3 attacks, requiring 3s to hit. Preferred enemy, lovely, or hatred, whichever one you like. Okay, also fails. It's strength 5, toughness 4, 3s to wounds, 1 is instant death, and 1 is AP2.
Rolling for the Murderous Strike attack first on a 4+ invul save. Oh, and that instantly kills the Justeran that was fighting Autic Moore. There is 1 more wound to save, and that one is saved, only losing 1 model.
Also strike initiative 4, there are only 4 immortals eligible to strike the Justeran Terminators, and they will require 4s to hit. They do get to reroll thanks to haters. Oh, they still failed. Strength 4, toughness 4, 4s to wound. That is 1 wound.
Onto the 2+ armor save for the Terminators.
Ooh.
So close, however, still saved. Down to initiative step 1 now. 3 Power Axe wielding Justeran Terminators push forwards, hitting on 3s with 6 attacks. No rerolls for the Justerans, however, that is 5 hits. Wounding on 3s. Oh, that is 3 failed wounds, not what we wanted to see. Correction, hitting at strength 6, the 2 does wound. 3 AP2 wounds caused.
Okay, moving on to the shield, 5 up in combat. Not a bad start. And feel no pain, 5+, come on. Yes.
A Justeran Terminator equipped with a Chain Fist, striking at initiative step 1 with 2 attacks, 3s to hit. Oh, that's both hit. Thanks to Furious Charge, striking at strength 10 with 2s to wound. There is always a 1, however, that is an instant death wound caused.
Onto the Faithful Shield on a 5+ for the Immortals. No, and that does kill an Immortal.
Thanks to merciless fighters and Terminators outnumbering their enemy, the Praetor and the Lightning Claw armed Justeran will make 1 additional attack each. The Praetor hitting on 3s. Thankfully, that one goes through. Wounding on 3s as well. And all that we need for 1 more AP2 wound to be caused.
All right, again, shield 5+, fail and feel no pain. Okay, and that is 1 more immortal dead.
Last in the combat is the Lightning Claw wielding Justeran Terminator, hitting on 3s. That's a hit. Wounding on 3s with a reroll. Doesn't need it, that is an AP3 wound caused.
All right, again, onto the shield 5+, and that is passed. Lovely. Cool. At the end of the combat, the Immortals have lost by a difference of 2. However, Autic Moore is fearless, and that combat will continue.
Into turn 3 for the Sons of Horus, securing a few more victory points. The Reaver squad successfully assaulting one of the objectives. The Justeran Terminators locking down that central corridor, and the Sons of Horus hopefully poised to break through the Medusan lines and into those last 2 objectives.
At the start of turn 4, a roll was made on the Buried Alive chart, and Dust Falls is in play for this turn, which means -1 ballistic skill and -1 initiative to all models on the table. Moving on to the movement phase, the Contemptor moved round, still being a bit shy around that door, but we'll try and take it out this turn. An Immortal unit has moved in support to protect the objective, and finally the last Immortal unit has moved up, anticipating a charge from the Justeran should they break through Autic Moore and his accompanying Immortals. Iron Hand's turn 4 shooting phase, starting with the Contemptor firing its melter gun into the door in front of it, requiring a 2 to hit, but it's -1 ballistic skill, so that is a fail. Firing its carriers into the door also, requiring 3s to hit now. That's pretty good. A 6 will destroy that door, which it has done twice over. The Immortals, looking to secure that objective, passed their leadership test and ran forward 5 inches. Iron Hand's turn 4 assault phase. At the beginning of the phase, Autic Moore issues a challenge, which was accepted by the Praetor from the Sons of Horus.
Striking first at initiative step 5, the Sons of Horus Praetor, who has accepted the challenge, lashing out with 5 attacks, hitting on 4s. We're getting a reroll out of his mastercrafted weapon, which doesn't help. However, 3 hits are landed. Strength 5 against toughness 4 will be wounding on 3s. Correction, or take more, being toughness 5. Those 4s still wound, however. That is 2 AP2 wounds caused.
Or take more has a Cataphractii Terminator save of 4+, fails both and is reduced to 1 wound. Autic Maul will try and strike down the Praetor if possible. Losing 2 wounds is pretty nasty. Also hits on 4s. Thankfully, getting to roll re-rolling 1s to preferred enemy. That is 2 hits. Correction, due to the dust falling, Autic Maul is striking at initiative 3 and has 2 hits against the Praetor. Autic Maul is strength 6 versus toughness 4 and requires a 2 to wound, but reeling 1s thanks to preferred enemy. But 1 is a murderous strike and 1 is an AP2, so we'll do the murderous strike first.
Looking to save this murderous strike attack on 4+ invulnerable save. And that is the Sons of Horus Praetor killed outright. The next wound moving back onto the rest of the Justerin squad on a 4+ invul save, and that one is saved.
Striking at initiative 3, thanks to the dust falling. Special rule there. The Immortals will strike out and will require 4s to hit. No preferred enemy as there's no 1s there. They are strength 4, toughness 4, requiring 4s. That's lovely. 2 wounds.
Onto the 2+ armor saves for the Cataphractii Terminators. And both are made. Also striking at initiative 3, there are 2 Justerins armed with lightning claws. With 2 attacks each, there are 4 attacks, hitting on 3s. 1 misses. No longer with Furious Charge, the Justerin looking for 4s to wound, however they do have Shred, which is very useful. Oh, it doesn't change it. That is 2 wounds caused.
Breaching Shield, 5 up in close combat. 2 fail and feel no pain, 5+. Ooh, 1 pass, 1 fail, killing an Immortal. Striking initiative 1, Autic Maul strikes out with his servo arm, requiring a 3 to hit. Come on, that's good. Strength 8, AP2, 2s to wound, that is 1 AP2.
Onto the 4+ invul save for a Justerin Terminator. Oh, and that's another Terminator, instant death.
That kills one of the Terminators that already had 1 wound remaining.
With 3 Terminators equipped with power axes, striking also at initiative 1. There are 6 attacks, hitting on 3s. Only 1 fails to hit. At strength 5 against toughness 4 is looking for 3s to wound. Oh, that is an unfortunate roll. However, that is an AP2 wound caused.
5 up, invulnerable save from the Breaching Shield, failed, feel no pain. No, that is another Immortal dead.
There is also a Justerin equipped with a Chain Fist, lashing out with 2 attacks, hitting on 3s. Nice. That is 2 hits. 2s to wound for both of these. Boy, and that is 2 instant death attacks.
Holy hell. Alright, 5s from Shield, 1 pass, 1 fail, and no feel no pain because it's double the strength. 1 Immortal killed. The combat is tied at 4 apiece, and the combat will continue.
Sons of Horus, turn 4 movement phase. All of the Sons of Horus pouring towards that central corridor, looking to support the beleaguered Justerin as they struggle to take on or take more. The Dreadnought moving its way out of the central corridor, hoping that the enemy Dreadnought can't get a line of sight on its back in the following turn. Sons of Horus, turn 4 shooting phase. The Contemptor, the opening volley of the turn, firing its plasma blasters into the Medusan Immortal squads past the combat. Hitting on 3s due to the dustfall. That is 2 hits. Wounding on 2s. That is 2 wounds at AP2.
Alright, there is a 5 up cover save instead of a 6 up shield. Both have been failed. And a 5 up feel no pain. Ooh, 1 pass, 1 fail, killing 1 Immortal.
Next on the Contemptor is the Keris Pattern Assault Cannon, also hitting on 3s. Oh, and that is 2 shots lost. Strength 6 against toughness 4, but with Violet Armor, the Contemptor needs 4s to wound. And that is 2 wounds.
Taking the rending hit first, it's a 5 up cover save for shooting through combat. No, and a feel no pain. Oh, out of the dice tray. No, it is dead. And a 3 up armor save against the normal shot and a feel no pain. Oh, geez, that is 2 Immortals dead.
The close combat equipped squad of Reavers firing their bolt pistols into the same squad of Medusan Immortals, with Death Dealer counteracting the dustfall. They're hitting on 3s with 7 shots. Or a couple of 2s in there. However, 5 shots go through, wounding on 5s. Oh, that is good stuff. That is 3 wounds caused.
Nice, alright, 3 up armor save. All passed, lovely.
The Volkite squad of Reavers, unwilling to leave their backs exposed to the enemy Contemptor Dreadnought, have run 3 inches. Sons of Horus turn 4 assault phase, returning to the combat in the central corridor. There are 4 attacks from the Justerins equipped with lightning claws at initiative step 3 due to Dustfall. Hitting on 3s. That is an appalling roll from the Justerin with only 1 hit. However, they will be wounding on 4s, re-rolling with Shred. Oh, that's 1 AP3 wound caused.
Autic Maw is in base contact with the Justerin with the lightning claw, so he will try and look out Sir onto the Immortal next to him, which he does so successfully. A 5-up shield save in combat, followed by a 5-up Feel No Pain. No, and that does kill an Immortal, but he will get to attack. Autic Maw will strike at initiative 3 with 3 attacks. Only 1 hit, but gets to reroll 1s thanks to Preferred Enemy. Oh, that it does pick up another one. That's really good. He's strength 6 with his Paragon Blade and requires 2s or 6s. And reroll 1 for Preferred Enemy. Go on. No, it's still a 1. So 1 Murderous Strike.
Looking to save this Murderous Strike on a 4+ Invul save. And that is another Juster and Terminator killed.
Striking at initiative 3 thanks to Dustfall, the 3 Immortals will strike back against the Justerin, scoring 2 hits. They are strength 4, toughness 4, and require 4s to wound. That is pretty good with 2 wounds.
Onto the 2+ armor saves of the Terminators. Of course, 1 wound going through. Down to initiative step 1. Cannot go any further due to Dustfall. The Power Axes and Chain Fist will strike. 4 attacks from the Power Axe wielding Justerins, hitting on 3s. There's 1 cocked dice, which is useful or doesn't save us. Strength 5 against toughness 4, wounding on 3s. And that is 2 AP2 wounds caused.
Attempting to take the wounds on the Immortal, there is a 5-up shield save, which is failed, and a Feel No Pain from the Immortal, which also fails. Killing an Immortal. The next wound spills over onto Autic Maw, which he will attempt to look out Sir on a 2+, which it does. 5-up against the Breaching Shield, and that has been passed.
Next in combat is a Juster and Terminator wielding a Chain Fist, hitting on 3s. 1 miss, 1 fail. At strength 8, this is instant death with 2s to wound, and that is 1 instant death wound.
Scary moment here. A lookout Sir will be required from Autic Maw onto the Immortal on a 2+. Thankfully, 5-up shield save from the Immortal, and no Feel No Pain, and that will kill the final Immortal of the squad.
Last attack for the Juster and Terminator. 1 Lightning Claw equipped Juster with Merciless Fighter, making 1 final attack, hitting on 4s now, due to Autic Maw being the only combatant left alive. That is 1 hit. Strength 4 against toughness 5, so looking for 5s to wound, however there's still Shred. Oh, and that is 1 more wound put onto Autic Maw.
Autic Maw cannot do anything else now but save it on his Cataphractii Terminator armor with a 2+. Can he do it? He can't, and that does kill Autic Maw. Unbelievable. Before he falls, Autic Maw does get to attack with his servo arm and will require a 3 to hit, which he does, and a 2 to wound. Oh, there is a reroll thanks to Preferred Enemy. Oh, it did flash on 1. All right, that's an instant death though.
Unless it can be saved on the 4+ Invul save for the Cataphractii Terminator. Oh, and that's another 3. That's 1 more Juster and brought low. After finally grinding their way through a very brutal combat, the 3 remaining Juster and Terminators consolidate 5 inches towards the enemy. End of turn 4 for the Sons of Horus. After finally grinding their way through the Medusan Immortal combat, the Justerins have pushed forward. Unfortunately close to several Medusan Immortals armed with melter guns. They might not be long for this world. However, coming up behind them in support are Contemptor Dreadnought and close combat armed Reavers, looking to finish the job, push on to one of the 3rd objectives, and hopefully seize the win.
Iron Hand's turn 5 movement, potentially the last turn of the game. Rolling on the catastrophic damage table, buried alive, a lookout roll was rolled and seized by the Sons of Horus. Their target was the objective on the room over there. It could have done it, but unfortunately scattered wide and missed Immortals and the objective, so to no effect. In the movement phase, the Contemptor has rounded that corner finally and can draw a bead onto those Volkite toting Reavers. And then the other unit now has moved back in support of this objective, worried about the Justerin and the Contemptor. This unit will fire everything they have into the Justerin to remove them from the field. Iron Hand's turn 5 shooting phase, starting with the unmolested unit in the middle of the field there. They have ran forward 3 inches after passing their leadership test. The Contemptor levels its Carries Pattern Assault Cannon at the Volkite Reavers and requires 2s to hit. Oh, 2 1s. That's a nice change. And then 2s to wound with rending. So that is 1 rend and 3 wounds.
The rend part, bypassing the Reaver's armor, will go straight onto the 5+ Feel No Pain. Oh, and that is the first model killed. With 1 more model between the Sergeant and the incoming attacks. These saves will be taken 1 at a time on a 3+ save. That's the first one passed. The second. And the third.
The Immortals will fire 16 Volkite shots into the Justerin in front of them. There is no preferred enemy this time. However, that is not a bad roll. 3s are required and dropping 7 so far, which is not too bad. And they are Strength 5, Toughness 4, and require 3s to wound. Needing a good roll here, so that's 2, 4, 6 wounds onto those Justerin.
However, taking these onto these 2+ armor saves of the Cataphractii Terminator armor, and that is all of them passed.
There are also 2 Melter Guns in the squad requiring 3s, 1 hit, 1 miss, 2s to wound. Go on, that's lovely.
And straight onto the 4+ invul save for the lead Justerin. And that's another invul save failed. 1 more Justerin falls. With 1 Justerin falling to Melter Fire, there is a leadership test to take for the remaining Terminators, and on a 5, that is a pass.
After analysing the battlefield, the Immortals have decided to charge the Justerin and will require a 2-inch charge. Lovely on a 10. The Immortals striking Initiative 4 have 23 attacks. Just do this in 2 halves. They do have Hatred, so we'll get to reroll all fails to hit, and they will require 4s. So there's 5 attacks to reroll there. Yeah, that's pretty good. Only dropping 3 from the first batch. 12 more attacks requiring 4s. Not a bad roll. Get to reroll these thanks to Hatred. Oh yeah, look at that. Picked up a few more and only dropped another 3 for a total of 17 hits. Lovely. Strength 4, Toughness 4, looking for 4s. Oh wow, if only we were playing Cold Void Poison there. That was a lot of rends. But anyway, we've got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 wounds onto those Justerins.
With only 4 wounds remaining in the squad of Justerins, these saves going on to their 2+ armor saves, hopefully surviving. And that is 4 wounds taken, killing the entire squad. Before the Justerin are completely overwhelmed by the Medusan Immortals, the one equipped with Lightning Claw will get to swing in 2 attacks, hitting on 3s. That is 2 hits, wounding on 4s, but with a reroll thanks to Shred. Or not that it needs it, that's 2 AP 3 wounds caused.
Lovely. All right, 5 up shield saves. 1 pass, 1 fail, and then Feel No Pain 5+. Oh, it flashed, but 1 Immortal falls. After a spectacular combat, the Immortals will consolidate. Oh, a mighty 1. End of turn 5 for the Iron Hands. A fantastic turn. Getting rid of those Justerin from that corridor has really taken the pressure off that objective. However, it has freed the corridor up for that Contemptor and those jump pack equipped Reavers. The question will now be, will the Sons of Horus Contemptor redirect for the Iron Hands Contemptor and then possibly move on to the objective? It's a big ask, but it'll be fun to watch.
Sons of Horus turn 5 movement phase, pushing back with the Contemptor and the Volkite armed Reavers, looking to make a move on that objective on the far end of the board. In the central corridor, the close combat equipped Reavers lining up a charge on those Medusan Immortals, bottling up the corridor, and hoping for another turn following this one to finally achieve some of those last 2 objectives. Sons of Horus turn 5 shooting phase. Once again the opening volley coming from the Contemptor Dreadnought, this time firing all of its armaments into the enemy Contemptor, looking to clear that doorway, open a passage to the 3rd objective. Hitting on 2s. That is 2 hits. With his Plasma Blast Gun, we'll need 5s to glance the front armor of the enemy Contemptor. And unfortunately, nothing from there. The Carrier's Assault Cannon lining up next, also hitting on 2s. More 1s in there than we would have liked to have seen. With Strength 6 against Front Armor of 13, any 6s will trigger rending and therefore automatically penetrate. And that's nothing. That is killer. Unable to damage the Contemptor with their Volkite weapons, the Reavers run forward 4 inches, looking to draw a line of sight to that final objective, hoping for one more turn to get some fire onto that building. The close combat armed Reavers opening up with their bolt pistols, looking to soften the target before the ensuing charge. Death Dealer giving the squad hitting on 2s with their 11 bolt pistol shots in the dice tray. Oh, and that's 2 1s. That is unfortunate. With Inviolate Armor protecting the Medusan Immortals, looking for 5s to wound. Oh, not
Nice.
too bad on that roll though. Dropping 5 with 4 wounds carrying through.
3+ armor save, not wanting to lose the melters. Doesn't look like we might lose 1. 2 pass, 2 fail, and then 2 5-up invulnerable saves. 1's out the dice tray. Sorry, 5-up feel no pain. Oh, and that's a Volkite and a melter gun lost.
Sons of Horus, turn 5 assault phase. Following the bolt pistols softening up the Medusan Immortals, the Reavers declare a charge against the target.
Yep, a reactionary fire check from the Immortals require a 4 or under to fire at full ballistic skill, which they pass. Only 6 Immortals with Volkites can see, and they all require 3s to hit. Not a bad round, only dropping 4, so that is 8 hits in total. They are strength 5, toughness 4, and require 3s to wound. Yeah, not too bad at all. That is 4 wounds dealt to the Reavers.
And these carry on to the 3+ armor saves for the Reavers. Or 1 is dropped, however there is an Apothecary in the squad for a 5+ feel no pain. And that's passed.
Very nice. Alright, and there's 1 melter gun in the squad, hitting on a 3. Oh, it was always going to be.
Needing a 4-inch charge, the Reavers, however, haven't used their jump packs yet this turn, so do have a reroll. Or not that they need it, however, they still trigger Hammer of Wrath. At initiative step 10 of the combat, there are 4 Hammer of Wrath attacks to resolve. Strength 4 against toughness 4, 4s to wound. Not a great start for the Reavers, that is, however, 1 wound caused.
3-up armor save. Oh, 5-up feel no pain. Come on. Negative, and that does kill one of those Immortals.
Despite the cramped confines of the corridor, with only the Apothecary and a Power Fist wielding Reaver unable to make it into combat, there are 18 attacks from the Chain Axe wielding Reavers at initiative 4, hitting on 4s. Oh, there's a few 1s, 2s, and 3s in there, unfortunately. 6 hits at strength 4, plus 1 from the Chain Axes they are wielding, looking for 3s to wound. Oh, that's a little bit better. All 6 wounds.
3-up armor saves for the Immortals. That is all passed. Lovely stuff. Also strike initiative 4, the Sergeant will use his breaching charge on the Reavers. Requires a 4 to hit, but does have hatred, which he does need. Big roll. This will really clear the breachers out, the Reavers out, and it does hit. Fantastic. There are 6 Reavers under that template and require 2s to kill. There is 1/1, however, it is a template weapon and gains shred. That is pretty good, and that is 6 Reavers killed at strength 8, AP2. Also striking initiative 4 is the rest of the squad with 5 attacks. Rerolling all fail to miss in the first turn of combat, and that is 4 hits. Strength 4, toughness 4. Lovely. 2 more wounds into those Reavers.
Onto the 3+ armor saves for the Reavers. And that is both saved. At initiative step 1, there are 2 Reavers armed with Power Fists, both with 3 attacks, hitting on 4s. Not a great round of hits from the Reavers this turn. That is only 2 hits. There will be 2s to wound. There's always a 1. That is 1 AP2 wound caused.
No feel no pain, but there is a 5-up shield save. No, and that does kill 1 Immortal.
Also at initiative step 1, there is 1 surviving Reaver with a Power Axe, with 3 attacks to make, hitting on 4s. Finally, one of them rolling well. That is 3s required to wound at strength 5 against toughness 4. Or 1 cocked dice, we need this for the Reavers. And it doesn't pull through. That is 1 more AP2 wound caused.
5-up boarding shield, or a lucky 6.
And finally, there is 1 more attack to make for a Reaver armed with a Chain Axe due to a merciless fighter, hitting on 4s. Unfortunately, that is also a miss. Having lost that combat by 5 points, the Reavers must pass the leadership test 4 or under on 2 dice. Oh, and that is 6. They have broken.
Before the unit moves, the Immortals will use the Gun Them Down special rule, will have an opportunity to fire into the unit before they flee. 12 Volkite shots requiring 3s to hit. Not a bad round of shooting, only dropping 4 shots. They are strength 5, toughness 4, requiring 3s. Not too bad. That is 2, 4, 6 wounds dealt to the fleeing Reavers.
Onto the 3+ armor saves for the Reavers as they fall out of combat. And that is 1 wound caused. They will, however, have their 5-up feel no pain. And that is 1 more Reaver brought lower.
Death Regate on a 3+, passes.
And onto the 3-up armor save again, which has failed, and a 5+ feel no pain. 2 Reavers killed.
Nice.
Using their jump packs to fall back a mighty 13 inches out of combat, the Reavers flee before the successful Medusan Immortals. Needing to clear the doorway to draw a bead on the final objective that the Sons of Horus have a chance of destroying, the Contemptor declares a charge against the Iron Hand Contemptor Dreadnought.
Reactionary fire tech for the Contemptor requires a 4 or under, which is passed. Starting with the Melter Gun, hits on a 2. Lovely. Dumber armor penetration, strength 8, 5s on 2 dice, and that is a penetrate.
Against the 5+ invul save of the Sons of Horus Contemptor. And that is passed.
Very nice. Also firing the Carey's Pattern Assault Cannon, that hits on 2s. No 1s for a change, but a 6 will be required to get a glance. There is 1 glance potential, but thanks to rending, D3 additional. And that is only a glance.
That glance, still onto the 5-up invul save for the Contemptor Dreadnought, out of the dice tray. And that's saved too. Rolling 5 inches for the charge range, just enough to bring it into base-to-base contact with the enemy Dreadnought. Beginning the combat between the 2 Dreadnoughts, a Hammer of Wrath from the Sons of Horus will glance the enemy Dreadnought on a 6. Close but not quite. Then down to initiative 4, the Sons of Horus Dreadnought with 4 attacks, hitting on 4s. That's a very good start. Strength 10 with its Power Fist, looking for 3s to glance. That is 2 penetrating hits.
Okay. All right. The Contemptor has a 6-up invulnerable save. Double 6. Here we go. There's 1 though.
AP 2 on that penetrating hit, looking for a quick kill. Not quite. That is a Shaken Dreadnought.
Striking back with 3 attacks with a Chain Fist. There are 3 attacks, needing 4s. Not too bad. 2 hits. Strength 10, double armor penetration, 3 or more on 2 dice. That's 1 penetrate and 2 penetrating hits.
Looking to save these hits on its own 6+ invulnerable save in close combat. And both go through on the Sons of Horus Dreadnought.
2 penetrating hits going through. AP 2 +1 to the dice roll. Go on. No, the highest result is a 5, which is a weapon destroyed. 1 to 3 is the close combat arm. 4, 5, and 6 is the shooting arm. That's the magic right there. 2 hull points and the loss of a Power Fist.
End of turn 5 for the Sons of Horus. A crushing turn for the Sons of Horus, with the close combat Reavers bouncing off the Medusan Immortals and the Sons of Horus losing its Power Fist in combat with the enemy Dreadnought. The Sons of Horus desperately need something to go well for them here to hopefully bring down one of the enemy objectives, if there is a following turn. Desperately needing 1 more turn to secure themselves a tie, there is a 3 or more for turn 6, and that is a 5. We will have turn 6. At the beginning of turn 6, the catastrophic damage table Buried Alive has resulted in a Lookout, which is another template of falling ceiling. This has been won by the Sons of Horus and placed over one of the objectives. After scoring a hit, there is a strength 5 hit against the armor 11 structure to secure 1 more victory point for the Sons of Horus, needing a 5 or a 6 to glance or pen. And that is only a 4. So close.
Iron Hand's turn 6 movement phase. The Immortals that were protecting the objective at the far end of the board there have moved around and will either pour their firepower into this unit here to deplete it or try and finish off the Reavers which fled the previous combat. The Contemptor is still locked up with the other Dreadnought, and then finally this unit has been ping-ponging between those 2 objectives, but is now firmly in the middle and can draw 1 Volkite Charger down into this Volkite Charger squad from the Reavers. End of turn 6 for the Iron Hands. The 3 units left on the board have defiantly defended their objectives from the Sons of Horus. It is now left to the Reavers to make an impact in their next turn.
Sons of Horus, turn 6. The beleaguered squad of Reavers rallying, turning around, drawing their bolt pistols once again to fire on the Medusan Immortals. Moving to the Volkite armed Reavers, using their jump packs to launch themselves over the enemy Contemptor Dreadnought, bypassing the ceiling, making their dangerous terrain saves. They draw line of sight to their last objective, hoping to tie up the game and trading their own lives for a drawn combat. Sons of Horus, turn 6 shooting phase, beginning with the snap shooting Reavers, firing their bolt pistols into the Immortals that damaged them so much earlier in the game, hitting on 6s due to snap firing. Oh, and that is only 1 hit, was nearly another 6 in there. Wounding on 5s. Oh, and they are unable to exact any revenge. The 3 remaining Reavers firing their Volkite charges into the objective, hitting on 2s, thank you to Death Dealer. And that is 2 shots still fail to land. Next at strength 5, looking for 6s to glance the armor of the objective. And that is not 1 hit. Having failed to damage the objective with their Volkites, the Reavers declare a charge against the objective, needing 9 inches, having already used their jump packs. And with only 7, they fail to make the distance. End of turn 6 for the Sons of Horus. After a desperate gamble to finally secure one of the last 2 objectives, the Reavers have set themselves up for a devastating turn of shooting, should the game continue for 1 more turn. The other remaining squad of Reavers failing to do any damage in vengeance for the losses they have suffered so far. The game continues on a 4+, and with a 2, the game is over.
Wow, what a crazy, crazy game.
Honestly, that was just the messiest, ugliest ZM game I think we've had.
I tell you what, I sweated throughout that whole game. It was really nervous. Those 2 contemptors took ages to get in interaction with each other. But
they were dancing. They were dancing.
If that door on the left-hand side hadn't been piled high full of stuff and rubble, it would have been over a lot quicker, but they took their time.
Yeah, well, certainly I think maybe even the Justerin would have gone after the Contemptor had they been able to take the shorter path through that room.
Yeah.
As it was, though, I think that central corridor, it needs a clean-up crew.
Oh, man.
So many models died.
Get the old servitors in there with a sweeping brush to get all their stuff off the walls.
A mop and bucket.
Yeah, a mop and bucket sounds better. What a game.
Yeah, so after tallying up all the points, unfortunately for the Sons of Horus, slay the Warlord and 2 objectives, giving them 3. However, just a hair's breadth behind the Iron Hands. 2 points for the primary objective for the Iron Hands, defending the last 2 objectives on the table. Additionally, though, First Blood and slay the Warlord. Or Tickmore bringing down the Sons of Horus Praetor just a turn earlier, really making the difference. Yeah,
that First Blood really helped, and we didn't really get that casualty in sort of 2nd or 3rd turn, so it took quite a while to achieve, but yeah, it happened at the end. So yeah, just sneaked it right, in the mid-game to secure the game. So yeah, a really cagey game, but really, really enjoyable.
Yeah, so finishing that game so close, just 1 victory point behind with only 5 models left on the board, just
tough.
Yeah, just an absolutely brutal game. Those close combat Reavers bouncing off the squad of Immortals. Yeah. Certainly going into that turn, I think we were both pretty terrified of those Reavers bunny hopping their way around the back of the board, securing objectives, taking out 2 or 3 more squads.
Yeah.
As it was, though, I think they killed 3 more Immortals in that combat.
Yeah, they did really well.
Yeah, that breaching charge really sealed the deal.
I tell you what, for 5 points, those breaching charges are well worth taking.
Paid its money's worth, that's for sure.
It's good as well because they get round Feel No Pain, which really, really helps.
Oh, yeah. When you've invested in apothecaries and squads and things like that, it's just a real good way of reliably deleting units.
Yeah, it's really cool. Well, we have had an absolute blast filming this game, and I really hope you've enjoyed watching it. Zone Mortalis still remains one of my favourite kind of offshoots of the main game to play because it's so much fun.
Yeah, it's always good just getting those models, especially the dance in the early turns, trying to line squads up, making sure that you're not offering advantages to the enemy. It's very good fun.
It's good stuff. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.